2026 is going to be an awesome year. We got some pretty cool stuff coming up. First off, we got Foundations of Recovery. This is our flagship program. We're starting it in January.
This is for anyone, man, woman, or couple who wants to come and reclaim their heart from shame, trauma, and betrayal. We start off with an education on all sorts of principles, give you the common language. We feed you from a fire hose in terms of all things recovery.
It is such a great start to recovery. And we get at the roots of things, Tyler. This isn't like any other program. Like, this is our healing journey in process, and Foundations is where we begin.
If you look at the value that you're getting there to kick off a good recovery with all of the right education, all of the right language, and a team to get you started while also being directed by Brannon and myself through the whole process, what a deal.
So if you're interested, if you're struggling, if you've been wanting to do something for a long time, jump into this. This only comes around every so often, and we would love to have you there.
Click the link in the description to sign up for it. And to make it even sweeter, we're also including a raffle for a free pass to the Radiant Dawn retreat. Anyone who signs up for Foundations will be added to the raffle for that free Radiant Dawn pass. If you're a man and you sign up for Foundations, your name still gets entered, and you can give that pass away if you win it to any woman that you want to.
So what you're saying, Tyler, is if you sign up and participate in Foundations, you could possibly go to Radiant Dawn for free?
That's exactly what I'm saying, which is crazy because Foundations by itself is already an insane value.
Man, I sound so salesy. But it actually is awesome. So come to Foundations. And even if you don't come to Foundations, sign up for Radiant Dawn. It's beyond therapy, the best healing experiences that you can have.
Click the link below and come join us.
There is no physicality in our marriage with no end in sight. What do I do?
Welcome to the Therapy Brothers podcast.
I'm Brannon.
I'm Tyler.
We're brothers.
We're therapists.
And we know recovery.
Bring your stories, your questions, your successes with real recovery.
Hey, Tyler, you ready to have some hard conversations?
Let's do it.
Let the Therapy Brothers podcast begin. Welcome to the Therapy Brothers podcast. Brannon is here today, alone without Tyler, feeling lonely, feeling sad, missing my older bro so much. Don't know what I'd do in this world without him. And I just don't know what to do with myself today. I'm just kidding. I think I'm fine. But I love my bro, and I hope he's having a good time. He's out today. He's spending some time with family and just doing things that he loves. So we're always supportive of each other on that. And one of the beauties of doing this show with my brother is he's supportive of me. I'm supportive of him. And so we trust each other to hold down the fort. So I'm holding down the fort today. But I'm not alone today. I have Buzz here with me. Buzz, welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
So Buzz, if you could just tell me a little bit about your situation, what's going on, and give us some background, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, thanks. My wife and I have been married now for going on 19 years. For about the first 14 or 15 years of it, I struggled with addiction to pornography and masturbation. And it was one of these things that I had before the marriage, and then during our courtship and marriage, kind of went away, as most people experience. And I thought, well, yeah, this is gone. This was just a premarital thing. And then a few months after we got married, I had a chance opportunity to view pornography on a job I was working on, and yeah, it blew up. And so I struggled with it for years. Didn't want it, just didn't know how to quit. Went to a pastor and told him that, I'm thinking I may be struggling with an addiction to this. And the next Sunday, the whole church got a sermon of, addiction is just a sinner's excuse to justify his actions and continue in his sin. Yeah, I got that sermon the next Sunday.
Wow.
And so I struggled for about another 10 years thinking, this is just me not man enough to stand up and tell myself no and resist the temptations. And then she finally, my wife, it was me not knowing what to do to overcome this stuff, how to fight it. I'd have a relapse, and she'd know something was different, and she'd wait for me to disclose. Finally, she'd back me up in the corner. Hey, can we talk a minute? And you mess up again? And sometimes I'd be like, no, what'd give you that idea? I didn't. I'm not going to straight up lie to her. Then it got to the
Right.
point where I just straight up told her no. No, I'm doing great. I'm fine. I'm great. And she knew I was. So rock on for 15 years of me telling her no, and then only disclosing when I was backed into a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it just got to the point I didn't think there was a way out. And then she introduced me to a podcast, a recovery podcast that was, I might be a sex addict, and I listened to it and I was like, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to take what the pastor already said all these years ago and throw it out. And I'll just add in, since then, I'm not in that church. That church blew up due to a scandal with the pastor being in a sexual relationship with somebody,
Shocker.
not his wife. Yes. And
Wow.
yeah, so back in the day, anytime I'd go to him and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'd get yelled at and be rated and told, you need to consider whether or not you're even saved. And come to find out, the whole time he was indulging in pornography and immorality himself. So on back to my story. So 3 years ago, I had went for a long period of time during my wife's pregnancy, the whole pregnancy, with our fourth child, of sobriety. Went the whole time, and then a couple of months before the baby got here, I had a one-time relapse, one event. Looked at something one time and relapsed. And she knew something was wrong, and she asked, you okay, everything? And I admitted right then, no, I'm not good. I messed up. And against our better judgment, because we didn't know better, she asked me to show her what I looked at, and I showed her. And of course, we know better than that now. And she's like, well, I'm not going to say when, but if this happens again, if you want a chance to see your daughter, grow up and be part of this family, you need to disclose to me from here on out. Don't make me find it. I made it 3 months, and a couple of months after the baby was born, I was looking on a video streaming service for a tutorial video how to do something I was working on around the house, and I saw a thumbnail. Because of my past history, the algorithm spit me something, spit me a curveball, and against all my better judgment, I watched the video and relapsed with it. And immediately it was just full of remorse, and I blew it. I had a chance to start over again with my baby daughter, and try to start over, be the different man, to be the different dad than I've been all this time. And so the minute she came home, she walked in the door, and I was like, immediately, hey, I need to talk to you. Can we go back to the bedroom now? And I just poured my heart out, and it's like, I am so sorry. I let you down. I betrayed you again. I looked at this video, for educational purposes only, on YouTube, and I am so sorry. And it was kind of the end of the rope for her. And she's like, you can go move in with your dad, your sister, whoever, but I need some separation right now, or you can stay and we just do an in-house separation, because I need to feel some emotional safety in this, and I'm not feeling it right now. Well, I chose to stay, and 6 months while I was like, well, she just needs a reset. Well, that time, 6 months went by, nothing. 9 months went by, nothing happened. And rocked on. It's been 3 years now, 37 months exactly. And
3 years of in-house separation.
yeah, and nothing romantic is allowed. Last time I tried to kiss her was about 6-9 months ago, and the look was, yeah, I won't try it again. I'll just do that.
Okay.
So any romantic touching, is just totally off limits. And so just about an hour ago, just before we got on, I said I just want to talk to her and establish some facts, so I don't misrepresent anything that's going on. I was like, why are we doing this? Because I have lost focus of what's going on. Why are we doing this anymore? And I'm a guy who I'm a very romantic guy. I love to bring flowers. I love the candlelight dinners. I love the snuggling on the couch watching the football game. I've always been this kind of guy. Even through my teen years, I was the geeky guy that was not popular and craved female attention. And when I was 20, I was engaged to a girl that was like perfect. Everybody said, "You guys are so much alike that there's no way you can't be together." 2 days before the wedding, she broke off with me. I was at my bachelor party when she came and gave me the ring back.
Oh, wow.
And so that's how I really got down the rabbit hole of pornography. Is for 7 years after that, I didn't date. I used my fantasies because it was safe. I didn't have to get my heart broke again if I imagined a relationship. And then the next date I went on was with the woman I'm married to now for 18 years. And so there's a part of me that's always craves acceptance, wants female acceptance, wants a woman to choose me and want me. And so these last 3 years have been really hard for
Rejection.
me. Yeah. And even though she's like, "I'm not rejecting you. You got to get that out of your head. I'm not rejecting you. It's just not an authentic place for me." And so she reestablished right now. This is just a consequence of all the lying, the gaslight, the trying to protect yourself because you didn't know what else to do. I understand that. I realize this was not your authentic self. But you just didn't know what else to do. But it still put me in a place that romance right now is not authentic to me. It's not there. I don't feel it. And
you don't feel it from her.
Right. No, she doesn't feel it towards me.
Yeah.
There's just no romance. There's no romance in my heart right now. I just don't have the capacity towards you or anybody else to accept romance, to accept that kind of love.
Right.
And I'm the person that very much wants to give and receive these kind of tokens of affection. And I mean, thankfully my toddler is a daddy's girl, and she's 3 now. And so I come home from work and I've had a rough day and just been I go hold my little girl. It's not what I want. I want to hold my wife, but it's not real to her. And most nights I go to bed just feeling lonely and just totally don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So that's how do I cope with this? Because the old me would have coped with it in toxic ways through alcohol or pornography. And God's got a hold of me since then. And been sober for almost a year. And I know that's not very long, but it was a surrender completely to God at that time. And I woke up one day and just said, "I'm not going another step. I can't do this anymore." And it was like every time something came up that day, I was like, "God, I'm your son. I'm surrendering this to you." And next time something, "Hey, this is yours. You got this, not me. I can't do it. I cannot do this anymore." A week went by and I realized I was sober. 2 weeks went by, I was sober. And a month went by and I realized I haven't lusted in a month. And pornography and the desire just completely was taken from me. And when I first got into a recovery group through SAL, my sponsor was like, "We need to take a little quiz to verify that you are an addict." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it was one for 15 years. I am one." But it's just the grace of God. He removed it from me. So now that I'm recovered and I'm a different person, because literally I wrote my inventory and I'm like, I'm writing a eulogy for somebody I used to know. And so now that I'm different, I'm not even the same guy anymore. There's part of me that wants my relationship back, and I have a hard time talking with her about it because I want to get emotional and go, "Why can't we fix this? Why can't we? Things are different. This is not this that life is gone. It's dead. And when can we work on this?" And she's like, "It's not real. I just can't." To me, accepting you back in and under a romantic relationship is just not real, and I don't want to go against my authentic self, and I respect her for that. But how do I? After all that rambling, how do I cope with the separation, with the lack of intimacy in the relationship when everything in me just craves it.
Buzz, I have so much to say to you, and it's an interesting thing to do because there's so many pieces to this puzzle that I could start anywhere. I could start and we can get into the pieces as they can fit in order to move forward. Um,
Awesome.
so
Great.
so so first off, um, I'll just say this: trust being rebuilt in the relationship. Um,
Yeah.
it can't happen unless genuine, authentic recovery is taking place. And
Understand.
and the things that you're saying, Buzz, I'm hearing some good recovery work happening. I'm hearing you work the 12 steps. I'm hearing you get support, sponsors, um, staying sober, which is a good thing. Finding some peace within yourself, regardless of what's happening with the relationship. Like you're doing work regardless of what's happening with the relationship. And truth is you could use the relationship and say, I'm a victim of this, screw this, I'm going to do what I want. And you're not doing that. Um, which is awesome. Um, and I always wonder, and this is a just we won't go down this rabbit hole here, but it's an important one. I always wonder if you're doing the deepest, most important work in your recovery, where you're really reclaiming your heart and getting to know your true self, and not just managing the behaviors, the sobriety and but actually shifting who you said, I'm a different man now. And that's what I like to hear, is the way you're resonating, the way you're showing up in love and confidence for yourself is important. Now let's talk about the relationship a little bit here. Um, there's things in your control and there's things outside of your control. And when you betray somebody, and when trust is shattered in a relationship, trust can absolutely get rebuilt to the point where you have more trust and safety than before the betrayal. But there's elements to it that have to happen in order for that to take place. And both partners have to be willing to engage in the process of that trust rebuild. So from your side of things, Buzz, um, do you know what it takes to like reestablish safety and trust with her?
Consistency.
Oh,
I
good
mean,
one.
yeah.
That's a great start to an answer. That's awesome. Okay.
So for her, it's to lean in, own my mistakes. Don't make excuses. Say, yeah, I mean, this is what it is. Own it. You know, show consistent effort to improve myself, be a better person, be a better dad, better husband. Just show her consistently that I am the different guy that I claim to be.
Yeah. So,
And
oh, I want to mention one thing about something you said. I love what you're saying. Like, be connected to the household, be consistent, um, be cautious with own your mistakes. And I'm not saying that owning your mistakes is a bad thing. Um, but if that alone is your form of honesty in the relationship, what that turns into is you showing up um, kind of weak, like you need to just tattletale on yourself in order to be honest.
understand.
And so owning your mistakes is important, but take that honesty piece even further to owning all of me, being who I am in the relationship. I'm a
Yeah.
wide open book. You'll know me. I can own my mistakes. I can also own my brilliance and the things I love and the passions that I have. And like, I am me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if it's just own your mistakes, then it's from her standpoint, she's the boss, and you need to tattletale on yourself in order to be a person that can be honest, and that actually deteriorates trust and safety in the relationship because you're
Okay.
showing up. You're showing up just in fear and weakness,
Been there.
yeah, opposed to like full authenticity, right? So
Okay.
so I
Well,
just want, yeah.
this
What?
leads to a quick question. Several months back, after my surrender process happened, and my if I hadn't believed I was already secure in my salvation, I would have said I got born again. But it was just
Okay.
kind of a renewing of my spiritual connection with God.
Love it.
And right after several months after that, I was asked to join the worship team in our church, and it was like a validation from God saying, "I accept you, and I want you to be part of what I've got going." And so now I sing and I play electric guitar. I've played
Love it.
guitar for years, and I get some kickback about this. And like, you say that you're called to this ministry and everything else, but I mean, how are you? I mean, there's some places you're not standing in your family like a manly man of God should do. So how's this? It's
Kind of like
the worship,
kind of like you're a fraud.
right? The
Like,
worship. Well, not exactly that, but you just like if I go to Wednesday night to rehearsal on Wednesday nights at church, and she's trying to get the kids ready for school and cook supper, and I'm dumping my
I see.
responsibilities
I
to go
see.
some of that thing, and worship worship experience is not the same to her as with me. To me, it's a totally immersive. I resonate with music very, very much, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a complete experience to me. And but to her, it's not. I mean, even though she is musical, she plays piano better than anybody I personally know. But to her, the actual worship emotional experience doesn't happen. So she doesn't get why worship is it is to me, and why this being involved in worship is authentic. So this to me, it's a very authentic thing. But at the same time, I'm kind of torn by this. Do I go do something that's real for me, or do I step in and lean in on these responsibility issues and stuff? And yeah, I'm just kind of
Oh,
that's one of
I love this
yeah,
example
yeah,
because this example will be able to see it really clearly here. Um, so it it seems like, so let's think about it in terms of trust here.
yeah.
It seems like well, let me ask you, what in order to like help her feel safe and trust you, what's the right move here?
Well, like this last Wednesday, I walked in, the kitchen was a wreck, supper wasn't done, and I called the worship leader and said, "Hey, I'm not making it," and I stayed home and turned the kitchen back right side up and helped cook supper and get breakfast ready for the kids the next morning. And that that
Did she acknowledge?
well,
Uh,
it was 10 minutes after the time that rehearsal started. She walked in the kitchen like, "Why are you still here?" I was like, "Because this needed to be done." And so, but at the same time, I didn't play on Sunday because I didn't know this. I didn't know the song, and
yeah. Okay. Um.
and so it was kind of I see where the point with me laying down something for her.
Mm-hmm.
But at the point, the question is what part do I get to be authentic versus lay down my life for my
Um.
wife?
uh, there's only one answer to that. Um. And that's when you are authentic, Buzz.
Yeah,
You actually show up as a man who will build trust and safety and fight for your wife's heart. When you show up in fear and compliance, you're actually not fighting for her heart. So, like, let's go back to this example. Um, I and really this happens inside of you, right?
right.
You stayed home and you cleaned. On one hand, you're telling me how important this worship is, how important your relationship to God is, how important the music is. Um, and you stayed home and cleaned the dishes, right?
Yeah,
Um, because, you wanted her to know that you love her and that you're going to do the right thing and care more about that than the other thing, right?
yeah,
um it like that breaks down trust and safety when you stay, because you're abdicating your truth. You're giving your truth away in order to let her have her truth, right? Now, hang in here with me for people that are listening, because I'm not saying don't show up for her. Um, but what I am saying is, like, the feminine will intentionally, and it's her job, test the masculine, test to see if you will get unrooted and ungrounded for her. And if you do, if you unroot yourself for her, then she realizes, like, I'm not with a man who's safe because he doesn't stand on his own 2 feet. I give him his truths, and then he
Yeah.
comes along, and when he comes along, then what she needs to do is step into that masculine, because she's with an unsafe man who can't stand on his own 2 feet. um that becomes a problem. So, uh, Buzz, I can tell that you're a father and husband who actually at your core authentically cares about your wife, cares about your family, right?
Yeah.
So what I would have done, and if I were you, is first I'd really check out, what is my truth, what is my integrity. I probably would have gone to the worship service, because God and purpose and those things are the most important thing to me, right?
Right.
Even my purpose and my relationship with God is more important than my relationship with my wife. Um, so I probably would have gone. But then I probably would have come home and said, "Okay, like, I took that time from the family. How can I step up now and make up for taking that time from the family? Like, I'm gonna watch less football this weekend. I'm gonna clean the house. I'm I'm gonna just be present while I'm here. I'm not gonna be hanging out on my phone or
Right.
whatever. I'm going to take care of our daughter and give my wife a break, because I got a break and got to go to church, right? So
Right.
like, I would have gone, and now let's say I would have gone and I got home and she was pissed about it. I would have held space, like, be empathetic and understand why that's hard for her. Um, I wouldn't defend it, because I have nothing to defend, because I acted in truth, but I'd try to understand how much of a sacrifice that is and why that's hard for her. But I would stay firm to, I understand, and I still need to go. And it's that important to me.
Okay.
Do you
Kind of
see?
a
Oh, go
kind of
ahead,
a
Buzz.
I'm sorry, kind of a compromise thing. I do what's authentic, but also find space to lean in for her needs. Like our
Mm-hmm.
rehearsal doesn't start till 7. I get home at 5:30. That's an hour and a half, 30 minutes. So that would give me an hour at home instead of me changing clothes or just sitting because, well, I've had a bad day. Would then say, hey, I've got an hour. What can I do for you?
Yeah. Or don't, you don't need to go ask her. You just go home and you start doing. It's like, hey, I know
Well,
I'm gonna be
yes.
gone. I know I'm gonna be gone tonight, so I'm gonna step up for an hour. Um, and she might notice it. She might not notice it. She might just be angry that I left and not notice that the kitchen's entirely clean. But that's okay, because within myself as a man and a husband and a father, I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
And and to her, if you're a man of God that steps into that truth and she doesn't fully understand it, it feels like you're breaking trust with her. But
I
in
understand.
reality, what you're doing is you're actually showing her that you love God and you love yourself enough to be authentic and true, and that, think about, like, she does she hold the cards when it comes to what's true for you and what's not?
Uh, I think that's been kind of a history of it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And
Because
that, right,
I've kind of molded my life around don't step on her feelings.
that has broken trust worse than the pornography use. Um, and I know you're like, no, Brandon, like, come on, like, no, it has. That has, because she doesn't know who you are.
She's already told me the dishonesty was worse than the porn ever was.
Yeah,
So
it's like,
me not being honest, yeah. So there you go.
yeah, that's broken trust worse.
Yeah.
Um, and it's, you know, coming to the separation. 3 years is a long time, Buzz. And so for you, I kind of feel like I'm hearing from you like, God, I'm trying to like do it her way and figure out like how to be safe here and how to do it right and how to, where the hell is Buzz in all of this? Like, what's your opinion? What's your feelings? What's your truth after being separated for 3 years and feeling rejected and feeling disconnected? And I'm not saying your wife's rejecting you, but that's how you've been feeling. So, like, where are you in this? Are you just going to her and saying, "Okay, when have I done enough? Am I a good boy enough? Are you, you know, can we start to connect again?" Or are you going and just giving up and being like, "Well, like, I don't know what to do. This will never work. So I'll just like keep living in this marriage like this for who knows how long." Um,
Both
but
of them
Buzz,
at once, I suppose.
what's your truth though, Buzz?
Well, at first it was for the first year or two, it was, how we doing? What I would try to take these little steps, walk past her and give her a hug, kiss her on the back of the neck. She'd be like, "Stop it." Or, like I mentioned earlier, about 9 months ago, I tried to give her a kiss when she was going to be gone for the day. And I was like, the result was like, oh, I'll never do that again. And it's just here for the last year. It's just been kind of like, well, you know what? I'm just going to back up, give it the space, let it ride.
I would.
And I can't do nothing about it. I'm just going to have to live with it. And I mean, and every once in a while, every couple of months, I'll bring it back up again. I'm like, are we going to work on this at all? And why are we doing this still? And it winds up in an hour long, very emotionally heated and charged conversation.
Okay.
So,
What's your
and
truth, Buzz? What's your
my tr-
truth?
my truth is, I would love to see the two of us. You know, I at the risk of sounding selfish, I would like to see her try just a little bit. Hold my hand one time. Sometime, she's going to a family reunion next week. Just kiss me goodbye before she leaves. Last two family reunions she's been to, she goes to this one every year. It's been a bye, like she's going to town to buy groceries.
So
And I would like
that's
to see just a fraction, just a sliver of some emotional. And just show me a little bit.
I'm hearing you value intimacy, emotional, physical intimacy. Now that's a hard
Very
ask.
much, yeah.
That's a hard ask to go to a
I
partner that's been betrayed.
I know.
And but Buzz, at the same time, it's your truth that you value love, connection, and intimacy in your relationship. And that part of you that's saying that is really important to who I am and in my experience in this life. Um, you discount it and you push it off because it's like, well, I don't want to make waves. And then every so often it boils up and you have this fight. And um
I know.
you,
At the same time, it's like she told me, you know, hour and a half ago that it's not authentic to her. It's not there. And anytime me pushing the issue was pushing her outside of her authenticity,
that's
and I'm being selfish for pushing her outside of what's real for her. And
I
so
that
I feel like, okay, I need to respect her and honor this, and just step out and just give her time to grow, give her the time to recover. In the meantime, just
and
pray to God. Yeah,
sacrifice your truths,
yeah. Well, it's kind of the I don't know.
which
Maybe I've
is
grown
just
up that
like
the
it.
husband needs to lay down his life for his family, and
Well,
that's Christ-like surrender kind of thing.
that's just like you doing the dishes instead of going to church. So back up. Like, yes, your husband lays down his life for his family. A husband fights for his family,
Right.
and
Yeah.
fights for love, fights for connection, fights for love and intimacy in that relationship. Laying down doesn't mean surrendering in a weak way and giving up of like, fine, like I will like not have this connection. I'll just like smile and try to be as happy as I can. Um, do not, Buzz, do not ever come on to her physically when she's not ready. Like she
Yeah.
absolutely has a right to say, that's not authentic for me. That doesn't work for me. Like, stop. Don't kiss my neck. Don't try to kiss me on the lips. Like, good for her for having that boundary. That's a good
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
And if it were me, Buzz, you're doing your own individual work. It's scary to do this, but I would have to see some movement from my wife, not in terms of wanting to cuddle with me and have sex and those type of things, but I need to know that she's willing to actually work on it, on herself and on us. Is she willing to go to therapy with me? Is she willing to read some books? Is she willing to talk about what healing and recovery is as in the relationship? Like, actually start to do that work together. And long before we're kissing and hugging, I
Mhm.
just need to see that she actually is out of a pure victim state of mind of, you messed up. This is your problem. I'm not doing any of my own work. And she's
Right.
actually in a place of, I'm going to do my work because I want to fight for our relationship and get to some healing here. If
Right.
she's unwilling to do that, if she just wants to stay in that victim stance, just wants to stay in her safe corner of disconnection, that's understandable why she wants to.
Oh,
Like
100%. Yeah.
and she has that right to do that. But
Yeah.
she's also telling me that she doesn't want a relationship with me. And this is the hard reality. Um, for me to say I can't continue modeling a relationship like this to our daughter.
Oh,
I
we got three older ones too.
To
We
all your
got,
kids.
yeah, I've got two teenagers and a preteen. So
Yeah, and think what they're seeing, Buzz.
that's what's killing me because
Yeah.
I got two sons. And I'm like, I don't want my boys to look to, I grew up with my dad as an example. My dad got lied to by the same church for 18 years because my mom was divorced and they said, "Oh, you guys are in adultery. You guys can't have sex." So my dad did everything except have sex with my mom to show he loved her. And I saw this every day.
Wow.
And this was how I learned to treat your wife through
Yeah.
this over the top outwardly m- displays of affection. So this is where I get it from, is from seeing my dad hug my wife, my mom, kiss my mom in front of us kids every single day, and openly say, showing her that he loved her and cared about her. And yeah, they're getting ready to celebrate 50 years next year, and it's beautiful. And so this is where I get it from, and I'm sitting here going, I don't want my boys to grow up saying this is what marriage looks like. And
Mm-hmm.
my oldest is already, he's going on 15. He's like, no, if I get married, it's going to be way down the road. And I'm like, where's he getting this idea?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's part of it that's scaring me because I'm like, I don't want my kids to think that, oh, this is what marriage is supposed to look like, and yeah, I don't want none of it.
So
And
so
it's a beautiful thing, really. And we had a beautiful thing at one time before I wrecked it, but and this what you were talking about by her with her is she just in her safe space, or I should say she's in the playground at the top of the slide and people have bullied her too long, and now she's not coming down because nobody can get her from the
yeah.
top of the slide. I
Yeah.
actually used that in a conversation one day with her. I said, this is what I feel, what's going on here is they're like, we're in a safe little square right now that I'm not getting hurt, and I'm not stepping out either. So we're not in the best spot, but we're not getting hurt anymore. And that's what I told her actually a while ago, 2 hours ago. And she was like, "No, I can see where you're coming from with this, but I mean, you basically abused me into the corner, and there was never physical abuse involved at all. That's one thing my dad told me. He said, if I ever hear you hit your wife, I'll finish off what she leaves." And so I grew up never seeing abuse in the home. So, and it was something I despised out of I knew guys. He was like, yeah, you got to slap her around every once in a while to let her know who's boss. And I despise that idea. And
Right. But she's saying,
but she's at the same time she's like, yes, I understand this is broken in me, and I know it's broken. And she just a while ago said I wanted to get professional help because before this she's actually the one who introduced me to recovery. It's like, here, check out this podcast, check out these guys. You know, this is some stuff you can do. And she stayed in a facilitated 12-step. I'm not going to say who because they have a podcast too. And we did that for a year and a half, and she finally quit attending the meetings because the partners meetings. She said because it was just a triggering, every woman sharing their triggers all week. She said I just got triggered and would be come away angry at everybody's husbands by the time the meeting was over for 90 minutes.
yeah.
And she just quit. And I think some of it is you mentioned the victim mentality. She realized, I think some of that is, but she knows that to go further, she's going to get help. And she just a while ago says, I know I need help. And I was like, well, get it. Do whatever it takes to get it.
Yeah.
I said,
Okay.
Pick who you want. I don't care who you get. You pick. Just get some help.
But you Buzz, you enable her to not do that if you just show up weak and compliant and trying to fix the whole thing, and versus showing up honest and holding that ground with her and saying we need to move forward. Like
Exactly. This is exactly why I'm calling, because I'm like, I feel like we're stuck in this spot.
Mm-hmm.
And if something doesn't happen, something doesn't give, like I told her, I said, I feel like we're in a canoe going down the river. We've lost both paddles and we're just cruising along.
Yeah.
I said,
I
hear a roaring way down I says, and I'm like, we need to swim.
Yeah.
And she's like, but we don't drown if we stay in the boat. And I'm like, not now anyway.
Not now, but the waterfall's coming.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And so that's what I try to express to her. I was like, if we don't do something, we can't just expect this to perpetuate year after year after year after year. And one of these days it'll fix itself. It's not going to happen. And that's kind of what I feel like we're stuck. And if I get pushed back if I want to push and say, we can't stay like this. And she's kind of like, I can stay like this as long as I want to, because if this doesn't feel real to me, then I'm violating my authenticity by going there. And I'm like, so we're just gonna stay at an impasse in the meantime.
Buzz, I wanna give you a couple options, and I want you to pick one here. Okay, so
awesome. Yeah.
I see different types of relationships, and with all the couples I've worked with over the years, and we know this exists. So there's 4 different types that I want to look at.
Okay.
There's let's say option A is a miserably divorced couple. So they divorce and they hate each other and they blame each other for everything. They fight over the kids and they cause all kinds of chaos in each other's lives. Okay.
Yep.
I see that. I see that a lot. And
I know several.
So that's option A. There's option B, which is a really healthy divorce, which is they work together, they support each other, they're still friends, and they don't have to get too vulnerable with each other because that sexual, emotional, spiritual intimacy isn't there, but the friendship is there. They're partners in raising the children and they help each other out. So that's option B. Okay.
Yeah.
Option C is, and I hate to say this, it's probably the most common, and that's an unhealthy, mediocre to miserable marriage where we do what we can to stay together, but our needs aren't getting met. I don't feel safe. There's a lack of intimacy. There's a lack of trust, but we keep it together because we have kids, the finances, and all the fears of getting divorced. So we stay locked in this hell, so to speak, um, because of all the fears of actual divorce. Okay. That's option C. And then there's option D, which is an actual healthy marriage where you love each other, you have intimacy. There's some conflict, there's some discord even, but you can find some resolution. You meet each other's bids for connection. You're both working on yourselves. There's good differentiation, and you just feel empowered and supported by your partner as you navigate life together. Um, so that's so which one would you choose?
I would choose D all day long.
Right?
Yeah,
Which one are you in?
I'm in C.
You're in C,
Yeah,
right? Okay, let's remove D off the table. Which one would you choose?
I'd still choose C.
Yeah, that's what you're choosing, right?
Yeah,
And how long would you choose C?
as long as I can. There's
Yeah.
been some days where I would like, it's the pain would be better than what's going on right now. The temporary pain and then it be over with and start over. But I know deep down that's not what I want. I know I've got friends. I
Uh,
have family members who have divorced and went to separate ways. Kids are wrecked. I mean, I'm like,
the
we both, I'll just put it this way. We have both made in the past made the statement to each other. If it wasn't for the kids, this wouldn't be happening.
Buzz, you're this is going to go against everything we learn at church,
Yeah.
but divorce being an option is a healthy thing in any relationship. And this is why. Because if divorce is not an option, then the relationship supersedes um, truth in the relationship. My truth or my partner's truth has to be negotiated with, um, given up, in order to protect that relationship. And what happens is over time, if I'm giving up truths again and again and again of who I really am and why I'm really here, it starts to create suffering in my life. And the way that you have that option, what was it, D,
Yes.
is by accepting that divorce is an option. Because I want my wife to show up authentic. I want my wife to know who she is and show up in her truths. I don't want my wife to sacrifice herself to have to be in a relationship with me. And if I am coming to the table and asking her to give herself up so that we can keep this together, then I'm creating option C. Um, do you understand what I'm saying? You have to lay it on the table a little bit.
Right.
And what I'm hearing you say is like, Brandon, I don't know if I'm willing. Like I want to just protect C forever. And but there's this other part of you that's like, but I can't live like this forever. The suffering is already there, right? So
At the same time, I know I caused it. This is my own fault. I mean, it's like she told me a while ago. This morning was the why we're doing this is because it's a result of sin. God has natural cause and effect to all of his broken laws, and this is basically
the
she said this lack of intimacy, this broken the the broken
is
emotion
no,
in her life is the result of my sin
no,
life, and this is
no.
just something that is just a result. You sinned, you broke my trust, and I no longer feel a romantic attraction to you. So this is a result of breaking God's law.
Okay. And so that is true, but there's more to that story. Like there and if as long as that narrative is being sown in your relationship and you drink that in, then it will continue to be, Buzz, you're the piece of crap who needs to fix this and stay in your corner and settle for scraps in our relationship because you did this. Now, take accountability for what you've done. That's important. But if you continue to believe that and continue to go there, then you are showing up weak in that relationship and you won't rebuild this, right? So it's like it's kind of like taking a sliver of truth and then using it to gaslight and beat it over your head. Um, and the reality is, and this is a hard reality to hear, if the relationship's going to actually heal, it's both of you taking ownership of that, both of you looking at your own brokenness and dealing with that brokenness and bringing it to the table to start to heal that relationship. It's both of you.
Okay.
Um, so it's not just you sinned, here's the consequence, that's what you get. It's been 3 years. You've been working your ass off in recovery. Where is the grace? Where is the healing? Right? And at what point does compassion, what point does blame um get replaced with compassion? And so I would love to talk to your wife if she'd be willing to come on. I'd love to hear her perspective and her side of things. And
I don't know. I don't know if she knew that or not.
yeah,
But
I
I
I
mean,
can I can imagine the pain that she's in too, and both
oh,
of
I
you. And
I do. It killed me to think about it that I caused it. And it's, when we got married, she was absolutely inside and out a beautiful person. She's still beautiful on the outside, but inside I see a wreck, and I'm just like, yeah, I burnt this thing to the ground.
yeah, Buzz, we're running low on
Yeah,
time.
I understand.
And I just want to say thank you for coming on. This has
Yeah,
been a great discussion. I don't know if we got to the roots of it all today, but we've at least had an awesome discussion. And um,
yeah. You helped a lot because there was a lot of the where do I be authentic with myself and where do I lean in and sacrifice cleared up a lot because there are some other issues I didn't mention that I was struggling with this too, and I've had other people telling me, no, this is something that you need to place some boundaries on, some control that I've given her over certain aspects in our
mhm.
domestic relationship. And well, the money. I'm the only provider in the family. I work, you know, and my paycheck gets deposited into a checking account that she only has control of because I was terrible with money for years. For most of our marriage, she didn't know what was coming and going, and almost foreclosed the house once. And yeah, it was just because of me forgetting to do stuff, or like, yeah, okay, yeah, this bill got paid and I've got money left over, we can spend it, not budgeting. I was terrible at planning financially. So that was one of her boundaries she set, is I need some financial control. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you all of it. And I did. I gave her all of it.
Buzz,
And now, I'm sorry. And now whenever I say, hey, can I have $20 a week, for blow money. I started just randomly just taking some money because I work one of my jobs I get paid cash for. And I'd start keeping out some money. And she was like, you need to earn the right to do that because you haven't been trustworthy. Because randomly I just get $5 here or there whenever I just need some money. And she's like, no, I need to account for all of it. And then I shared that with this one of my somebody in recovery. And I was like, no, you just need to tell her, hey, I'm getting $20 allowance. And and yeah, this is, I'm sorry, we can talk about it if this don't work. And I
but
don't know.
Buzz,
Yeah,
uh, she doesn't want to be married to her child. She doesn't want to be married to a 5-year-old that she has to
I've
manage everything.
I've heard that
Um,
so many times.
and I
I'm
mean
not
that,
your mom.
yeah, it's like if I'm 5, I go to mom like, hey, can I have $5? Like, no, she needs a man. She needs
Yeah,
a man. And so like your issues with money and spending it all in the past, you got to deal with that.
yeah,
And then step into with her like I realize you have all the control and I gave all that control. This needs to be partnership.
yeah,
We're going to work together and I'm going to be a man here. I'm not going to be a child who's begging for a little bit of control in our life and in our relationship. I'm going to be an authentic, powerful, honest, compassionate, consistent man here. Um, and at first she'll hate that because she's safer with all the control.
yeah.
Um, so We got to wrap up, Buzz.
All right, man.
I appreciate you. You're a good man fighting for recovery. Keep up the good work. And you guys, if this was helpful, please share this episode. And until next time, keep on keeping on. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, guys.